Habemus Papam.
We have a pope, and he's American. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Friday, May 9th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost was elected pope yesterday. He took the name Leo XIV. He gave his first address yesterday evening on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. He spoke in Italian to the emotional crowds. He told them, "Peace be with you all."
La pace sia con tutti voi.
Pope Leo grew up on Chicago's South Side. But in Rome, he's known as the Latin Yankee. That's because he worked for 20 years in Peru's poorest enclave. He even became a naturalized citizen there. Many thought a U.S. cardinal would never be pope, but Leo was probably helped by his Latin American supporters. And the 69-year-old is fluent not only in English, but in Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and French. He was also seen as close to his predecessor, Pope Francis, who died last month. Francis was known for challenging norms, embracing migrants and the poor, and seeking to build an inclusive church. Leo appears to be someone who will follow in his footsteps. He'll be celebrating his first Mass as Pope today. Number 2. President Donald Trump told Congress to raise taxes on the rich in a budget bill. Trump issued the request to congressional Republicans this week. The president wants to raise taxes on the wealthiest earners as part of a budget bill, the one he calls his Big Beautiful Bill. That instruction has rattled his party. Congress is working to extend lower tax rates from Trump's 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Those are set to expire at the end of this year. But administration officials have discussed allowing the top tax rate to revert back to Obama-era levels, or creating a new tax bracket for those earning more than $5 million per year. Trump's new position on individual rates is a stark reversal, and it could shatter talks around congressional Republicans' fragile tax legislation. Number 3. President Trump named Fox News host Jeanine Pirro as interim U.S. Attorney for D.C. The U.S. Attorney for D.C. is the top prosecutor in the nation's capital. It's a very important law enforcement role. Trump had wanted longtime Republican activist Ed Martin for the job, but Martin's nomination fell apart over recurring accusations of abuse of power. So instead, Trump has turned to a favorite source for administration officials, Fox News. Known as Judge Jeanine on TV, Pirro has served as a district attorney and a judge. Her false statements about the 2020 election were cited as evidence in 2 defamation lawsuits against Fox News. And now she's one of at least 20 current or former Fox employees in the Trump administration. Number 4. India and Pakistan remain on the brink of a major military confrontation. On Wednesday, India launched strikes on Pakistan, and Pakistan said it had downed Indian warplanes. Since then, the 2 nuclear-armed neighbors have traded accusations of strikes and false flag attacks. Some of the most significant claims have been difficult to independently verify. That includes Pakistan's claim that it killed up to 50 Indian soldiers, and India's claim that it targeted what it called 9 terrorist sites in its strikes on Wednesday. The confusion has been fueled by misinformation on social media and in media outlets. Over the past 24 hours, Indian news channels have made a number of false claims, including that India had captured Pakistan's capital. That's not true. Meanwhile, Pakistan has vowed retaliation for the Wednesday strikes, but hitting back against India carries serious risks for Pakistan. El Salvador wants America's prisoners and its tourists. That's our fifth story. El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, wants to market his country as an up-and-coming travel destination. He has invested millions of dollars developing his country's tourism appeal. He especially wants to tempt surfers to El Salvador's picturesque beaches. But that's not the version of the Central American country that most people are seeing in the news. As I've talked about here on the podcast before, Bukele has partnered with the Trump administration to imprison U.S. deportees in El Salvador's notorious mega prison. Images have shown shackled, crouching men with shaved heads in crowded conditions. That has left some would-be tourists wondering whether a visit would signal their support for Bukele's government. Number 6. Federal scientists will no longer track the costliest weather disasters. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said yesterday that it will no longer update a list of weather disasters that cause billions of dollars in damage. The list has been growing dramatically in recent years. It's a sign of both extreme weather and increasing development across the country. And now it's one of many scientific data sets to be abandoned by the Trump administration. The move will make it harder for the U.S. to assess how climate change, building patterns, and population trends are exposing Americans to dangerous weather. And at number 7, a group of friends built and lived in a secret apartment in a mall for 4 years. Back in 2003, Michael Townsend and his friends were gentrified out of their artist commune in Providence, Rhode Island. So they moved into a 750-square-foot space hidden deep inside the Providence Place Mall. Sneaking in through a parking garage stairwell and emergency exits, they managed to haul in furniture, a TV, and a gaming console. They tapped into the mall's electricity and even constructed cinder block walls with a lockable door. The windowless cavern transformed into an unlikely sanctuary. And there they remained undiscovered until they were finally caught by mall security guards in 2007. Their extraordinary story is now a documentary playing in select theaters. It's called Secret Mall Apartment. It relies on old footage taken by the ultimate mall rats and has new interviews to probe the impact of rampant capitalism on individual people. You can read an interview with the documentary filmmakers at the link in today's newsletter. You can find that in our show notes. And the next time you're at the mall, keep your eyes peeled for secret apartments. That's the show for this week. The associate producer of The Seven is Taylor White. The staff writers are me and Jamie Ross. John Taylor is our editor. Additional editing by Christina Quinn. Copy editing by Melissa No and Thomas Haliba. Mixing and sound design is by Jim Briggs and Justin Garish. Our theme music is by Edith Mudge. Renita Jablonski is our director of audio. I'm Hannah Jewell. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend. I'll meet you back here on Monday.
My name is Jason Rezaian, and I am the director of press freedom initiatives here at the Washington Post. Back in 2014, when I was the Tehran bureau chief for the Washington Post, my wife and I were arrested from our home. I was held for 544 days, almost a year and a half. From the very first moments after my arrest, the Post was involved in trying to secure my release. Every day, journalists defend our democracy by holding power to account. My job is now to stand up for the rights of journalists in the United States and around the world, and especially those journalists who've had their voices silenced. I know what it is to lose a day, or 544 of them, of my life for the work that I do, and I don't want anybody else to suffer that fate. When you subscribe to the Washington Post, you support this kind of work. Learn more at washingtonpost.com/subscribe. I'm Jason Rezaian, and I'm one of the people behind the Post.